So, you're opening.
I'm opening.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you see it in my face?
I mean, technically you're already open, but you're going to be opening for like regular hours and
Yeah,
service.
since middle of November, I start to do a lot of catering and taking care of like the Christmas food for Venezuelan people more than anything else. I had like almost 3 years without do that, so it was great to come back and do Christmas gift for Venezuelan people.
Yeah.
And so it's happening finally. I'm opening the Wednesday, the 6th, just for takeout and delivery right now.
Yeah.
Everything is going to depend what the government need to say. They supposed to talk the 10th of the 11th to see if they are going to open for 25% or no. So.
Yeah, fingers crossed for sure. Although I will say I had your Christmas meal and some of your regular food for Christmas. I got the whole shebang and a half for my family.
Yeah.
And we took it all home and then cooked it all the next day.
Yep.
And it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. I texted you
a
big thing, and that that's really something that I don't do unless it's good. I think that you've seen that. I don't really placate people on their food.
Yeah, I understand.
Right? I mean, I'm not necessarily mean to anybody, and I won't hurt anybody's feelings on purpose, but I won't tell you that you like changed my life with your food if it's not true.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
And,
I'm the same way.
Yeah, and that's just the facts. That's the reality. Is my mother is like German, Danish, Northern European, and she loved the food. She loved all of the food, and my sister loved, I think there was like one, I think it was actually the pan de jamon that my sister didn't like. Everything else, the big one, yeah. Everything else she loved, and I loved everything. And I thought, before we get into the details of the food, because I'm going to break down most of the stuff with you if that's cool.
Okay. Yeah,
I just think that would be a good way, for everybody watching the show to kind of understand what's going on with your
because
restaurant.
the dishes, maybe you a lot of the components I have on the recipes, but maybe you never had it together. So
well, I want to welcome everybody to Minnesota Well Done.
Hi,
I'm back again with Chef Soleil Cristina Ramirez Alonso.
Almost Cristas.
And I'm having you back on the show because I told you that once your restaurant is good to go, then we'll have you back on and we'll give you whatever boost that we can. And so let's just get right into it. In terms of the like flavor of all of your food, I couldn't get over, and you know how I eat food. I'm just so animated with it.
What?
Huh?
What was your favorite?
You were right with my favorite.
The pie.
It was the pie. Okay? So you had a chicken pie, and you had, I don't know if they were raisins when they went in or if they were just straight grapes, and then there was olives, and then there was chicken, but I was just like, I was blown away by the balance of flavor and everything, and that's a big thing for me too. Is like, I'm the kind of person who will taste something and then like throw like half a dash of salt from back here, just be like,
this needs salt, this needs acidity, this needs blah blah blah.
Yeah. But I am, that I'm very, and I'm very good at it. And you know what? I'm 2021. I'm learning how to step into my confidence. And
my Lord!
Here's the thing, I'm pretty good at it. All right.
Oh, 2021. Oh, this is a new thing. Okay.
So. But no, I mean, so the pie was my favorite because it took texture into account as well. The crust was phenomenal. The chicken was like, I don't want to say barely there. Sometimes when you put meat in pies, it can just be not destructive. What's the word? not gummy either. Kind of tough.
Yeah, dry.
Right? Yeah,
Like
yeah,
dry?
yeah. Like you're eating this pie, and then it's like
Yeah, I understand.
I have to chew the hell out of it, and that wasn't the case at all. And there was even a small problem with the way that we transported the pie.
Okay.
Right? Like I think who was it? Eric put it in the box and he broke it, and then it's like so then I kind of had to like pull it off of itself. So it was like a little bit crumbly, and still just like it held its moisture really well.
The thing is that pie, the dough I use, it's like it's not a cookie dough, no, but it's a kind of that kind of doughs, that kind of cookies you eat and you put in your mouth and they just melt.
Yeah.
So that the crust for that pie is something like that. It's super easy. In Venezuela, we call it masa quebrada. It's like a broken dough. And the thing is, you barely touch that with your hands. And that is the reason, because it's that delicate and that soft. So I thought was like a super beautiful the way I was like presented it, but I think for the restaurant I'm just going to do it by like per order,
single
pies.
Yeah.
Because if not, it's going to be for whatever person comes to the restaurant right now for pickup and delivery.
Yeah.
It's going to be like hard to transport that. So I'm really thinking like how can I do and what containers can I use and what is the best way I can do to the people have the same quality of my food but to go,
Yeah.
and like reheat and stuff. So I'm thinking maybe I can put like instructions how to reheat things, or because that is really important. If you are at home and you want it for 3 hours later, like example the meats and stuff, you probably it's better if you follow a kind of instructions so they are not dry and the sauce is not salty because you reduce it too much at home. Or
I think it's important that you put those instructions on there, because I did say at the beginning of the episode that this is all able to be brought home and we're all able, but I've also cooked with you, and I also 2021 I'm a total badass, so I can
I like that actually.
Yeah. No, I can cook, So like
but
for
everybody
instance,
understand that kind of things,
Well, yeah, for instance with the asada negra, there was like, you had the final sauce. I kind of had to like increase the volume of it, and then
like I told you, put
stop
water.
It from breaking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I know how to do that, but like somebody else would just be like, "Why is this sauce broken?" Well, they probably wouldn't even use that term, but it just wouldn't be as good, right?
Yeah, and also that sauce is made with chocolate,
Yeah.
And chocolate has I use a lot of fat for the chocolate. So that all, of course, is going, if the sauce is already made and you reheat it, it's going to break.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I understand. And I'm thinking, it's not ready yet, but I'm thinking how will be, like, the best way to maybe put, like, a brochure or something in the food so that people knows how to reheat it.
Yeah.
That will be more, like, for delivery things or people, like, for catering on, But yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be a really great idea if I put instructions for all the food.
Okay, so we talked about my favorite, but you knew that was going to be my favorite.
I knew it,
and it was so well done. But I'll be honest with you, everything was phenomenal. Everything was really, really good. And I'm not, it's like you're not paying me anything.
No, I swear, 2021.
Although, if you want to, I mean, I'm here.
I'll keep it in mind
to even give it more. No, but I mean, you're not paying me anything, so there's no reason. There's no reason for me to lie about any of this stuff. It's like, it was just. I remember. I mean, I looked at my mom and I had this big smile on my face, because the holidays are, it can be they can be tough, right? And especially this year, it was like, oh well, I guess. Kind of scratch off the holiday. We're not even really doing it. Made the holiday special, and that's saying something. That's saying something.
A lot of people send me message about like the food. Like Venezuelan people, it's been here for a really long time. They start to post like arepa bars save the Christmas, and that for me was like, like, I don't know, my heart was so full because that is what I really want to do. I
Yeah.
want the people to eat my food and feel at home.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're Venezuelan or not. It's just, that is the love I want the people to feel about all these Arepa Bar project. And it's not like I always said to you, like, it's not just food. The only thing I want to do is create community.
Yeah.
And that is one of the biggest reasons I select and I fight for a spot in Midtown Global Market, because over there, all the people wants to create the same. Like the other day, I have a meeting and they were, okay, where are your holidays? When I said carnival, the people was like, oh, we're going to have carnival in the market. I cannot believe it,
Oh, wow.
So,
That's exciting. It got me excited.
yeah, I mean, everything is going to depend on what happened with COVID.
Right.
But the holidays in South America, I'm really, really, really like bright, and everybody dance and everybody enjoy and everybody. So let's see if we can bring that to the market. So everybody wants to go there, Venezuelans, Colombians, and all these South American people. They really don't have a place to go and enjoy this kind of holidays we have in South America. So I want to create that too.
Oh, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
It's
Yeah.
community, it's culture, it's something I think South American people here in Minnesota needed a lot.
I fully agree with that. And I will add on, I think everybody who goes out to eat in some respect is looking for those things, right? I've talked about it on this show, how like people kind of, they're craving community, right? I think that's like it. Yeah, I don't want to get sucked into an AA conversation, but like in terms of addiction, I think that's a huge problem, right?
Yeah.
Like the people get isolated, they get lonesome, and they lack community in their lives in one way or another. Yeah. But on a grand scale, if you look at the country, it's just like we're all these little isolated pockets of communities, and restaurants is like definitely one way that people like get together and experience that, but you don't see it as often, at least as I'd like. And I think that it's just like, it warms me up to think that you're running a spot like that, and at the same time it's good food, right? Because it's like, I'm all for the diner or the pizza place that everybody goes to. It's a neighborhood spot, but the food is just like, okay, I could take it or leave it. But this is something different, because not only do you have the knowledge and the experience, you have the talent and the skill. I mean, it's there. Well, what did you think this was going to be? You think this is going to be, hey, this is my guest. She's dog shit at cooking.
He's not lying, okay? 2021, I'm a badass, too.
Yeah, exactly. But you are. I mean, it's like, it's kind of like,
Yeah, I want to offer both,
Yeah.
I just want the people to try the food. And like the other day was so funny because I was doing a really big, I was doing a 400 dinner for a company.
Yeah, it just stresses me out. But
And I have a lot of people helping me that day. So I just started like to give them a little bit of treats of the food I was prepping the day before. So the faces of the guys were like Carlos, Jose, Valerie, like Kate was there too. So they were just like trying, and they were like, oh my Lord, I know this flavor and what it is. I know I eat it before. Like the face of the people like trying to figure out what they are eating. Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah. And I told them like, I know you're having this before. Maybe no one mix it with this, but just tell me what you think. I like it. It's different. I don't know, but I know. So it's like a kind of, the palate has a lot of memory. Yeah. So if you're a cook or you are in the industry or you just have this kind of culture in your family to try a lot of food, your palate never is going to forget that. Yeah. But, when you try it with another kind of combinations, it's just like opening a little bit more. So you're going to have like another kind of experience. So it's incredible. And everybody try my food is like that. And it's not because I don't create these recipes from zero, Yeah. I'm so sorry I couldn't bring you the books. I told you I just came straight from the restaurant. But those are books I really use, like a lot of Venezuelan have like Mi Cocina from Armando Escanone. In every house of Venezuelan, you can see this. It's a guy, he is like 90 years old, and his entire life he just dedicate to bring the recipes from our ancestors to today. So he's been creating books like Venezuelan authentic food
I love
books
that.
for 50 years. You know.
Wow.
Also, I have another two books. Was like a really famous. He was a journalist in Venezuela, but he was like a community journalist. So he was like traveling to all these kind of towns nobody goes anymore, and like trying to talk like with the native people from all the states, and of course in the Amazonas it's like the biggest native people we have, and trying to bring all these recipes too. So I use these two books a lot because I have a lot of like, it's not just history, it's just like the way, example, the second guy, he write down the story of every dish, make you feel like proud of your ancestors. It's like culture, history, but also it's like a lot of love, you know.
Oh yeah.
And but I can say like 100%, I read a lot about this, but my Bible are my own family recipes from like 200 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, of course
Tweak. Yeah.
I tweak a lot of this just to make it my own and create a little bit more like refined. Like I always told you, like, yeah, it's authentic Venezuelan food, but my recipes are a little bit more refined. The way you present it, like they didn't care about a pass a sauce. Oh, let's pass a sauce. No, they don't care about that. I'm doing it,
Yeah.
but you know, that kind of things. But yeah, I'm just basing everything off my family tradition, and that is just incredible. The other day I was crying.
Well, I could see how it could be a very emotional experience for you with all that history, all that, you know, the narrative just kind of like pumping into the food, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you again, it's like you know me, that's all when I'm cooking, it's like I'm like part of this.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can you're feeling that, I feel like more intensely because this is all you, right? It's like we talk about getting out of the way a lot on the show. I think you and I have talked about getting out of the way a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like your opportunity to just like be the person like making the best food. I don't know, like it seems so simple, but at the same time we've fought for so long to like we're making other people's food, we're making some recipe that some guy said is good because this is the kind of food that people in Minnesota like, and it's like it's been years and years and years of not being able to really.
It's been really, really long time. I am not ever going to say like, okay, I just, you know, I shouldn't work there or I shouldn't do there. Or, you know, work for whoever. I think everything is part of, I don't know, the adventure.
Yeah.
And you always learn from everybody.
Yeah.
You know, probably that person knows less than you, but he probably or she probably knows one thing you didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, you know, always you are going to, always you're building your skills and your knowledge and all that. But yeah, I can say for me, when I get to United States, one of the biggest problem I have with with all the chefs I work for here in Minnesota was, for me, a lot of Minnesotan food, it's too bland.
Yeah.
Like needs like more like power or more. I don't usually cook with a spicy things.
Yeah.
I don't usually cook with Thai chilies or habaneros or whatever peppers you can find here. So I just start to find that like a lot of people use these kind of peppers just to create more flavor. I was like, well, what happens if you don't have hot peppers? How are you going to create flavor?
Yeah.
They were like, well, put lemon. I was like, why?
Well, that's something actually that's something I'm gonna interject on quick because I think with when people taste Latin American food of any kind,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of expect this like acid drenched is not the greatest word, but you know what I mean, like this lime, lemon,
Yeah,
popping,
or cilantro. Everything needs to be
bright
like
green, like everything needs to be fucking neon, freshly picked, like that wasn't I akin it to like Greek food, right? Like a lot of people think that Greek food is like we just catch the octopus off the side of the boat and then we chop it up on the boat and then sprinkle some salt on it and it's the freshest. That's not how Greek cooking is at all. It's all these long processes of cooking,
Yes.
and it gains this like savory umami, like and there is acid, there's lemon used, but it's the same with your food, right? It was phenomenal, and it was like this just
it's the balance
satiating.
of the food. Exactly. It's just like, and I'm having these with the cook I have right now. He's half Mexican, so he's really like open to try like a lot of new things. But I always like, it's like, Eric, taste, because I like powerful food, and that means I'm going to cook that meat for 6, 7, 8 hours.
Yeah.
Not in the oven.
Yeah.
We call it caldero.
Yeah.
It's this,
cauldron.
Yeah. It's these super huge things. You just cook it at so low heat for hours.
Yeah.
Or you cook it, here, winter, I don't know, maybe someday, under the dirt, I like to cook like that.
Yeah.
Like in Venezuela, you go to a beach, and the best fish you can have, it's a fish they cook. They, open the fish. They put a lot of like sofrito in the middle. They close the fish. They wrap it up in banana leaves, and they put it under the sand, man. It's just like, but of course,
Mind blowing. Yeah.
5 hours.
Yeah.
So you are not going to have that in 1 hour because you put it in the oven. If you put it in the oven, it's not going to be the same flavor,
Yeah.
So yeah, South American food talks about a lot, like, we don't have lemons. We use limes a lot.
Yeah.
But we don't cook the lime ever.
Yeah.
So you can have limes, but limes, it's going to be for more like a salad and like a raw things,
Yeah.
We don't put lime in the soups, example.
Yeah.
That is something like a lot of people do, like in Central America or like Mexico. But for us, it's just, no. We drink limeade. That we do. But cilantro, we use cilantro more for soups than for salads.
Yeah.
It's are the same ingredients, where we use them differently, and it's just a kind of that balance you need to have between sugar, salt, the umami, all these kind of flavors, and I don't know what is the word in English, but Venezuelan food, it's have like a sticker of it's one of the cuisines always like sparks people, like always the people, it's like wow, because you always can feel all the flavors in your tongue. So that is the reason, because that pie, I know it's going to be a seller. I know it's going to be one of the best sellers, because first I cook the chicken. I don't cook the chicken in broth. I cook the chicken in wine. First.
Yeah.
Second, you have olives, but you have raisins.
Yeah.
But I cooked the raisins in another liquid before.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They
were very hydrated. I was like, okay, but go on. Sorry.
Yeah.
I interrupted.
But also you use panela. Panela is dehydrated cane sugar.
Yeah.
So you have the sweetness there, but you have the olives. But also I use Tabasco. So it's just like a kind of, so you taste it, and it's just all the spots in your tongue are activated because you have all the same things,
Yeah, very much. Well, okay, I can say to me, that's what cooking is, right? That's what every cuisine really can bring to the table, right? It's just people focus on, I don't know if it's people or if it's this amalgamation of identity in America, but like it's all about, we want sour food, we want spicy food,
and
we
also
want fresh
I think
food.
and you and I would talk about this before, I think it's more about the system,
Yeah.
and I just want to make money. You know?
Yeah.
Because not for everybody it's worth it to cook. Just put water in those raisins. Why you need to create a special liquid to cook the raisins?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
It's
like...
going to cost me 35 more cents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just put it in hot water or stuff
Right.
like that, you know? I know. I do a preparation for almost each ingredient I'm going to use in my food. No, of course, no, everything. But, like, I'm always going to brine my chicken on my meat.
Yeah.
You know, no, everybody do that. And when you have a small restaurant and you don't have a lot of people working for you, so they prefer to buy pre-cut meat or pre-made things or like chicken already pulled or like, because what happens if you need to pull 150 pounds of chicken every day?
Yeah.
You know?
Let's take a break and we'll get right into this because this is my zone. I love talking about this because I think that there are... I think, for one, you represent the antithesis of that, the exact opposite of that. So,
Yeah.
so let's get into it, but let's take a quick break first.
Okay, perfect.
Like, you know, there's even the French top
Yeah,
is hot enough to just, like, singe the tiny baby hairs so it never grew to anything. Now I look at my hand, I'm like, oh, the stereotype is true.
Oh, my Lord.
Hairy Greeks. So, yeah, no, we were talking about basically, people trying to save $1 by not, I don't know, but not putting as intensive labor processes and not using water instead of wine to cook something or getting something pre-cut. And I do have something to say on that because, you know, this is kind of what I was talking about when I said, well, you're working for other people, right? It's not necessarily that those people don't have anything to offer. In fact,
No.
In fact, I've had so many people on this show that I've worked for, which shows that I hopped around and maybe had some problems. But I've had lots of people on the show, but at the same time, I remember, you know, one or two instances with all of them where it's like you're putting the dollar before the food, and it's making the food not good. And, like, what are we here to do but make good food, right? Like, I get it. You're trying to make a bottom line, but you've made the I'm not like completely inept and don't know how to use. But I remember I made pasticcio, and I'm not going to say the place that I made it, right? And pasticcio is a Greek dish, but you have to.
You know, we have pasticcio in Venezuela.
Oh yeah, okay. We've had this. I think we've had this conversation maybe on the show.
I'm going to make a plantain pasticcio, so be ready, baby.
All right, I'm going to. Maybe I'll have to have like a guest chef.
Sure. Don't worry.
Greek style.
Yeah,
Because
why
honestly, I make the best pasticcio around. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm going to steal a recipe here.
I'm totally fine. I'll give you the whole thing if you're willing to do it.
Of
you know,
course.
that way.
Let's try it on.
But here's the thing with it. It's like, you know, are you gonna get the ground lamb or are you gonna get ground beef?
For what? For the pasticcio?
For the pasticcio, it's like.
If it's Greek lamb, it's Venezuelan beef.
Yeah, no, yeah, but this isn't asking. I guess I wasn't trying to ask you. I was asking like that. I'm asking the chef, right? And then it's like, okay, well, I need to make the egg set bechamel on top, and I need to cook the lamb for probably 2.5 hours, right? And I need to be like fairly. The thing was I did a couple dishes, right? And I was doing those dishes the whole day, and like at the end of the day I was like, oh yeah, you see how much like we made on the cost of the food, right? Like it was a great, like I think the percentage was like 11%, like but then he was like, well, this is how much time you put in and this is how much I pay you, and then he put in the labor to that as well. And I'm like, you don't understand what I've done today, you know? So I think that, and honestly, it's like, out of all the people that I've worked for, he was the most like gracious in terms of hours and
money
and money. Like, so it wasn't like I was angry at him or anything like that. It was like, I think that is what kills cooking like that.
So I think, and we talk about kind of like how the system work. Like today example, the first thing you do when you go in and you're going to have these kind of preparations are going to take like super long. Just prep your meat, you know, and put it in the stove, and then you can do another things.
Yeah.
You know, you need to have like a plan. You need to be organized. So if you want to cook that beef or lamb or whatever for 5 hours.
It's like,
For 5 hours, just make it that first, and then you can,
yeah.
you can do the rest. But if you are just going to be jumping around, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about, I mean, I've been managing kitchens for a really long time, so I know when the people is like, oh no, I'm going to do the beef because they don't want to do another thing.
Yeah.
So I think when you have people really respect your food and you have people really want to learn and make it right, you need to let them work, but also you need to teach them because everybody knows everything.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody like you, example, wants to do all this, but probably you need just a little bit more help on how you are organize your prep sheets to understand what you need to do first. So all the time you're waiting for for the meat or whatever, you can do all these things too.
I fully 100% agree with that. I think like the real issue is there's kind of like this all or nothing thinking, right? Like if people get used to working with people who work that way, right? Who are unorganized and
Yeah.
so like when he was saying this is all you did for this hour, and I was like, oh no, I did that and this, and I prepped the beignets, and and it's like, and I was doing this, and I was doing this, and it's like, so everybody just has to realize, and myself included, that every new day is a unique experience,
Yeah,
and you
it
need to
is.
treat it like a unique experience. You can't go.
And the opportunities, man, every day.
I feel like people go on autopilot, right? Don't you feel like that?
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, and that is like that's the problem that we're talking about, right? Like even some of the best cooks, if they go on autopilot, then it's like they're just doing these things. If that doesn't fit into their schedule, right? If you're extra, if you want to cook it in this thing and you have to prep this thing and
Yeah.
that adds another 20 minutes onto their schedule, the whole world is gonna explode. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's because, and this is going to sound really hard for a lot of people, but the easiest thing you can control in a restaurant, it's the labor. That is the reason, because the people, it's so picky
Yeah.
with the labor, because it's the only number you can control without knowing anything. If you don't know how to control food costs, that is going to be big, because food costs is not just how you order. It's how you order, it's how you prep, it's how you
Right,
cost,
waste
it's
management,
how everything,
yeah.
So it's more complicated. So what happened? That is the reason, because all the managers always are, hey, labor, hey, labor, hey, labor. Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They just care about the number they see on the whatever system they are using.
Yeah, you're right. That people are going to be upset at that, and I love it because it's true.
It's
true. That's so true. That's so true. It's one thing that I've always been like fairly surprised by, like, because I've worked for places where I don't know. I'm a little bit more old school, right? Where we worked in the places we had like 5 people, and all those people just worked all day every day, right? So like labor wasn't even like a thing.
Problem.
It wasn't only a problem, it just wasn't a thing. Like nobody, you're gonna be here until we're all going home, and that's just the way that it is. And there is no like, I did overtime, I didn't do overtime, I'm just getting to overtime. It's like, no, I'm doing overtime every week, and unless I'm
also,
salary, it
it's
doesn't
like,
matter. Like that's
it's
just
like,
the way it is.
Over time, I think happens a lot when you don't have the right people and the stuff you really need for.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna get in front of this one and say that's part of like the system again, right? Like that's where we live, and like because you're dealing with it right now, And it's like the people that you can find, we have we have the experience and the networking to know those people,
Yes.
right? But like it's like if you're trying to run a restaurant, it's like, especially like 8 years ago, you're having these people come from, Le Cordon Bleu, which got sued by the real Le Cordon Bleu. Thanks, chef, for giving me that information. I didn't know that, right? And it's like you have people who are literally being scammed and coming into your restaurant, and so you can't use those people, right? Then you have this other like group of people who think they're the hottest shit in the world because they're coming out of online chefing school, and like you said, these are all Minnesotan people, right? And they're used to kind of this like diner and at the higher level like supper club, like so like there's just sometimes the labor pool doesn't appropriate that.
And also it's just like, I always believe like you can teach a lot of people, to do everything, and I love to teach people, and I love when the people is really like open to learn new things and they really want to learn. Because some people, they said, I want to learn, but you turn around and fuck this chef, I'm going to do it on my way. I was like, hey man, this is my kitchen, I don't care if you are going to have, you can be the best cook, chef in the world, but if you have that kind of attitude, you're not going to work with the rest of the team good. That is going to cause you more problems than solutions. So not only because we have that problem, that kind of ego we always talk about, it's just the people need to understand in a restaurant, and more when we talk about small businesses, you cannot say that is not my job.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
like if you have 3 or 4 people can work really incredible together. And you can have done a lot of things in less time, because I know where are your weakness. So I know I can be a little bit better than you in that. So okay, I got you. Why wouldn't delegate and try to work together? That always is going to help too. Like right now, I'm just have one cookman, one. And everything is happening. We're working a lot of hours. I'm tired. He's tired, but it's the only way. He doesn't know anything about Venezuelan food. So I need to teach him everything I want and be completely open to him. Like, okay, do you like it? You don't like it? Why you like it? Why you don't like it? What do you think is wrong? And explain to him like why all those flavors are together. After I teach you everything, I would love if he can teach the rest. So you can build a team. Everybody comes at 7 and everybody left at 10. But a lot of people, they think they don't do it for passion, they do it for money. So they just try to, and that is the labor problem. Right? When you see people, you are paying $18-19 an hour, and they are just sitting eating all day, or talking, or in their phones. That is another kind of problem with labor. But if you're doing what you need to do, if the food is good and everything, what is the problem with overtime?
I mean, that was kind of my whole shtick, and my whole argument is like nobody ever worried about overtime, because it was like we're all here like learning, right? And this is I don't know, I guess to a degree most of us had proven ourselves, right? Like there was that, staging used to be this long period of time, right? Like it's so weird.
Like 10, 12 hours. Yeah, I remember.
Like
I started in a French restaurant in Venezuela. I was like a 14-hour shift.
Well, I've done.
I was like, oh my Lord. And I love it because you need to show and you need to prove yourself.
I've done weekly stages.
Here, it's just like, the people don't respect it. And a lot of people, when you tell them like, okay, well, I'm not going to hire you. Let's do a stash. And after the stash, we can talk again. I don't need to show you what I can do. I'm telling you, you have my resume there.
Well, that would be a red flag. I'd just be like, okay,
it's a red flag for
I'm
sure.
not hiring you. I think too, part of the issue is that some people, I don't want to talk too generally, right? Because obviously there's some places that are doing this great, but they move up too fast. They scale up too fast, right? Like one awesome thing about Victory 44 is like even if you were getting slammed at Victory 44, there was the kitchen was smaller than this room for sure, right? Like definitely we had a downstairs where we had like an induction burner and stuff and a prep table, but the line was like the size of this table, right? But it even if you're getting slammed, you're never going to be like, you know, completely in the weeds because there was only, I don't know, 33 seats or something there, you know. Wasn't fully, I don't remember the number, okay? Give me a break.
Oh my Lord, Chris.
But I think that's important, right? Like if there was a 120 seat restaurant, Victory 44 would have been a lot harder.
That is another mistake a lot of people make. It's just like, if you have a concept of what your restaurant is or what you want to do, and you need to go like super fine dining example, you cannot have 300 seats.
Yeah.
At least you have a kitchen like this, I mean, super huge, like El Bulli or something like that, and you have 100 people working for you.
Yeah.
You know?
But
not
even
100, but you know,
even
like,
at that point, it's like you need to have the right 100 people working for you too. So you need to be in the right city
and the right,
you need to be in the right area.
And that it's something happen a lot, and that I always am a kind of, let's see, mad about it. Like, I have this experience, I can do this and this and this, but my price is this. You want to hire me? I'm not going to work for less than this. And always happened to me, like, nobody wants to pay you. They always want to try to do something like, whoa, but I give you the insurance, but I give you this, but I give you, you know, they are trying always to do that kind of things. It's just like, if you are trying to do something right, you cannot go cheap. And I'm not going to mention the name of the place, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. But I don't need to say anything. But that is the reason, because a lot of restaurants goes down really fast.
Yeah.
Because when they lost something, like a huge team, an incredible team, and a lot of things happen or whatever, and everybody leave, they just start to hire shitty staff.
Yeah.
You know, and what happened,
then you have an order overcooked salmon with fucking corn on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you just have like, you are changing, because you are hiring this type of people. You are changing the concept of the restaurant. You can have the same walls. You can have the same servers. You can have the same kind of treatment for the people. But when you sit and you see that dish, I was like, I mean, this is not the place just supposed to be.
Yeah.
So what is going on here? And I hope all these pandemic situations teach people really, really to preserve the good staff and take care of the staff. And I think it's time a lot of restaurants need to understand we are not machines.
Yeah.
And we are not a social security number.
Yeah.
We are humans.
Yeah.
And we have to pay things, and we have a family, and we have a lot of things, a lot of old school chef situation, and a lot of restaurants, they don't understand we are humans too.
You know, I will say that is something that, you know, COVID has definitely put a new meaning to that and like really pushed the issue.
Yep.
But it is something that I've seen at least grow as since I started because I started.
Christos, I
here.
have 4 years in the United States.
Yeah.
And from 2016 to 2020, I saw the difference. Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So if I saw the difference in 4 years, I cannot imagine you been working here for like, I don't know, 15 years in kitchens, 12 years, 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, you know, I kind of attributed to that. There was this beautiful woman who asked me a question about why there weren't Michelin stars in, you know, the Twin Cities.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's a tough question to answer. It kind of comes down to me, right? My answer was the lack of infrastructure, but can I lay it out for you?
Of course.
A little bit. This is kind of how I laid it out to her. Wonderful, beautiful woman. And so I go, well, there were people who started like me, who have passion for food, right? But when I started, there was no industry, right? There was Darren and Chad and Harsey and McKee, and that was it. Like, that was it. I remember when I went to Solera, right?
Solera.
I talked to somebody about Solera on the show, and it was like, but you people don't understand, like, that was an isolated incident at the time. That was like, oh my God, this is the craziest thing ever.
Because they were tapas?
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, and so then you have people who work at Solera, but you also have me, and then you have Chat, and you have the people learning under them. And when they get to the point where they can own restaurants and they can run restaurants, they have the same ideas and thought processes that we do, right? And then they create an environment that's, usually better for the chefs and for the staff, but also they make connections, right? They make connections like James Peterson Farms, right? That when I was coming up, like, I remember when I was 19, and this is the first time that I really heard of it. It was like, we got their ground beef, and it was like life-changing, and now it's like people use them for most of their meats if they know what they're doing. It's these,
I do.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, it's just it grows over time, but it's the actual industry. Like, we say the industry as if it's this abstract thing, but it's like a real community of people, like you and I. Just like that's part of the reason why I love, like, what this show has kind of become, is because this is a representation of that community, and that is what allows eventually things like, more James Beard Awards, which we're seeing, and eventually Michelin stars, if that's your deal. But until that point, it's like, until those people kind of mature, right, and continue on with the love and with the art, then you're gonna have just what Minnesota was, a cash grab. That's what I know I'm going on a little bit of a rant here, but like, when you look at the Greeks, they owned restaurants. Like, when I talked to my dad, he's owned restaurants, right? He's owned restaurants, he's managed restaurants, but he doesn't. None of this is. It's all money. It's all money, right? And it's just like, then the industry is dead, Dad, if you're watching the show, I'm not talking shit. I promise. I promise.
He's going to call you. Yep. So, and I come back to the thing, like, let's go to something like super flat here. The movies you can watch about how the people become chefs, or how the people manage kitchens, or how they get like a Michelin stars working in restaurants. The only thing they show in those movies is how hard you need to work to put the perfect food on the table.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many hours you work.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many people you have in your staff. What matters and you can see this in all movies. Ingredients, you need to be delicate, you need to be organized, you need to be clean. That is all about it. So they never talk about money.
Yeah.
Because that it is. If you want to make money selling burgers, you need to have the best burger in the world.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you have just like my mom always told me, like, if you're going to make eggs, please make the best eggs in the world. Doesn't matter what you're cooking. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Just try to be the best.
Yeah.
And the money, it's coming. But you cannot pretend, and this is something, guys, that people need to understand. If you're doing a restaurant or whatever, you cannot have money back in a year.
Yeah.
You need to wait, you need to be patient, and you need to be consistent, and you need to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. Yeah, a lot of people, that is a reason, because a lot of people, like, when they do restaurant, they always look like a partner to, like an investors.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. Well, because then you're at their
Because
will.
the 90% of the time, these investors, they don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
They are, I don't know, they are lawyers trying to tell you how you cook a scallop, and they are just going to ask, where is my money? Why you're not making money? Where is my money? Where is my money? Where is my money?
Yeah.
Like, they don't care about this. So I know when you want to build like something like really big and all that things, you need money to build it. But also the people need to understand that returning restaurant, it's not that easy.
I think that goes back to our earlier point about you need to scale up appropriately. Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, one big saying in my family, and I'm sure in many families, is live within your means, right? But that
just use a blanket you can cover it with, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the money, don't buy the thing if you don't have the money. And if it goes for the same for restaurants, right? Like, although I think that your food is one of the best places to get food in the Twin Cities, and you know, I'm backing that up. It's a small joint, and it's going to grow, and it's going to grow appropriately to the response of people. You're not, you know, I have to have this many seats, and I have this. I've drawn it out in this way, and
you need to plan.
Yeah.
You need to plan, and you need to know what you want to do, but you need to grow properly.
Yeah.
Because if not, you can kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like, know yourself, like your business, your restaurant, your dream, your project. Because sometimes what happens is when you start to make a lot of money, you get like excited. So you start to say like, okay, no, now I'm going to do dinner and I'm going to open for 3 shifts. Or I'm going to do this. Or I'm going to do this. Or I'm going to do this. Like, you need to... Building something takes time.
Yeah.
Building something takes a lot of fails. So you need to be like really ready to, you know, be in the weeds a little bit before you can make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And, you know, I think that is kind of I don't know, it's like the end of the statement, because a lot of the time the statement is you shouldn't get into this business if you're about making money, and I think that's the wrong way to go about it, right? Like, I think, you know, they're like, you got to have the love. Like, obviously you have to have the love.
Yeah.
But like things the success comes through time. I mean, and it's just not a get rich quick scheme like a lot of people think it is. I don't understand why people think it is that way.
It's not at
Sell
all.
drugs. Go sell drugs.
Go sell drugs. That probably is easier. Yes.
It's all right. Let's take a break.
Your mom made that for you?
Yeah.
Oh, she's so sweet.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is.
Well, she's gotten into painting, you know, during COVID.
Yeah, me too.
So she's, you know, she gets this like monthly thing, and then there's like a video that she watches, and so she learns to do these different techniques, and she's made some really cool stuff. I mean, she's done pictures of the animals. She does this like charcoal tracing technique, and then numbers the different. It's cool. It's beyond me, to be honest with you. Well, actually, I did a cat of somebody, and it turned out fantastic. Anyways, she's really shown a lot of talent and ability to pick up on that art piece real fast. Okay, so I want to talk to you. You know, we've talked about Arepa Bar.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about some of the food that you're doing there, and I don't want to just like, you know, like, and then what did you do with the cochito at 2:30 p.m. and then at 2:32 did you flip it, and oh yeah, okay, and then what did you and how much salt did you use for that? That's not really what I want to do with it, and I hope that we're kind of nailing home this is like in these episodes, because this is your third time on.
Yep.
And when I think that we've done a good job of showing people what they're going to eat just through our conversation.
Yep.
Because it's like the kinds of stuff that we're talking about is not low. It's not low level shit. I'm sorry. It's not low level shit. The movies that you're talking about, right? Like I think of like the movie Burnt, right? When you said clean, right? I remember it's just a couple seconds in it, right? But there's a couple seconds after they have a really shitty shift.
Clean your shit, and he throw the towel like. Yep.
Yeah, and they're scrubbing everything. And there's just suds everywhere. It was very
like.
It was potent. That movie was so potent. Also, like I will give kudos to Bradley Cooper, because like you can tell that he trained a lot for it, because when he's doing it, he does the thing that I do, and you hate this. Okay.
Me?
But Bradley Cooper does it, so it's okay.
Probably I will love the night from
when I'm like if I use my hands for anything, but just in general, I do this one. Like now, like even when I cook at home now.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you're
some of my
about.
pants, I don't have the towel and the apron, so like I have this mark on my pants where like I've been fiddling with something and and it's just to clean the fingertips, but it's just like it's such a.
I do that when I do
important.
bread. When I make a bread.
Yeah.
Like the. Yep.
Yeah. And it's like it's just I love it. I love it. That's the kind of like I don't know if you'd call it an Easter egg. It's just like something that you understand if you're in the industry and you're really trying to make the best food possible. Like that's been the coolest thing for me. It's like this is my relationship with Chad, I think, has been a big thing that's changed over time, because I was like a young spunky kid who was like, I'm gonna be the fucking best chef ever, and he's like, shut the fuck up, and now
I have that experience too. Yep.
But like now he can see that love is there, right? Like over the years I've taken some abuse, but just mostly like him shit talking me, right? And shit talking my food. But like it's been years and years, and he can see the care that I have for the food. And I see that too with people now, right? Like when I've had the honestly the opportunity, it's like one of my favorite things to do is to like train people on a line, right? To actually train people that I don't know, right? I get to know you. And you have the fucking gift 2020 of knowing me, okay? because I'm all up in your business. You know what I mean? Oh, you don't know how to make a beurre monté? Okay, well let me explain to you how the emulsification process happens. And if you cut the cubes into this size instead of this size and you whisk them in, okay, but we should probably use a balloon whip instead of this. It's like, okay, I'll go get it. And then but also like
I love it.
But then you see in like 3 weeks time, right? They're whipping up the beurre monté with a smile on their face because they feel it's butter water, people, for people who don't know what
it's
beurre
butter
monté.
water.
Yeah, I've gotten some messages from people where they're like, yeah, I don't cook, and I'm like, oh, I love that people are watching the show that don't cook, but I just got to remember like they don't know all the terms and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So like, but for people at home, envision you just taught somebody to make butter water. Right? And they're excited about it. Oh, it's such a good feeling.
And they are going to remember you the rest of their lives every time they make them.
They fucking better.
Yeah.
They
will.
I'm
Maybe
great.
the 90% of the people is not going to tell you, but they are going to remember.
Well, I'm glad that you say that. I'm glad that you say that because really, I think that you noticed this early on because I'm just like remembering our relationship because our relationship has been awesome. It's been so great. But you noticed this, pretty early on. But I think some people don't really get why I get really frustrated at certain things or like why I get really angry. Like there's been times where just because that's how I was taught how to like protect what you love. I know it's unhealthy and I'm changing, right? But like I've gotten in fights on the line because my people.
I know.
You fucking with my people. Like, you call them, your babies
My
or,
babies,
and
yeah.
it's like, I feel the same way, maybe not in like a paternal sense, right? But like Carlos, for instance, right? Shout out Carlos, the homie, right? You've been on the other end of the anger, and I apologize, okay? But
I was there. I remember.
but I mean,
Yep.
But I mean, like any kind of mistreatment of Carlos would just fucking, I couldn't control it, right? Like, I'm shaking right now just thinking about it, right? Like looking what somebody does to, because he's relatively young, right? I'm not patronizing him to any degree. It's just he was younger, and I think that there was some naivety that he came to that kitchen with, and the mistreatment of him was like, I have to watch like his soul be fucking sucked out of his body, and it's hard to deal with, right?
Yeah.
And
I agree.
And but that's like the other side of that love, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. And you are someone who's like, oh, Christos can work for me, and you just grab me by the back of the skull and pull me right in, and you're like, you're working here because, again, I want to bring this back to Arepa Bar and what it really ultimately represents, and we've said it before, but it's love.
Yeah, it is.
It's love. It's love for
100%.
it's love for the people who eat there. It's love for the people who work there. It's love for the ingredients that are used there, the animals that have given their lives to be in this food.
I'm going to confess something here. I'm not going to use names, but I hired a girl to help me with I made my logo, I made my website like myself, so I didn't hire anybody for that. But I need help with the social media situation.
Yeah.
Not because I don't like to do it, it's because I'm not going to have time to do everything. I just have one cook, and I'm cooking with him every day, and I'm doing everything, like all the administrative things and stuff. So I just need somebody to help me to create like a plan, to promote my restaurant in social media and have like a plan for not just social media, like when they come to the market and they see the place, they want to come in.
Yeah.
So I'm working with this company and this lady, and I told her, like, I need you to find me like this. I need you to find me a place to print this logo.
Yeah.
And I need you to find me a place to print this menu.
Yeah.
And I need you to find me to do this. Instagram, Facebook, whatever, website. Everything is create. I just need somebody to take care of, come here, take pictures, we make a book, and then you start like, talk with the people, respond the answers. If you are you don't know what is the answer, just call me, I help you, but I need you to do this. 10 days after that, this girl, I'm so in love with your project, and I really, really want to show you another logo I create for you. I was like, what?
Yeah.
She sent me a logo, and also she write down Venezuelan wrong.
Oh, yeah, I could see how that would be a problem.
I was like, thank you so much, but I didn't ask you to create a new logo for my company.
Yeah.
What happened with the things I asked you to print to hang in the wall?
Yeah.
Oh, no, because I was waiting to see if you liked the logo I created.
Yeah.
Can you please send it? 7 days after that. You asked me what happened, why I'm not going to have a sign on the restaurant.
Yeah.
This is a story.
I'm
7 days.
I'm filled with anxiety right now.
7 days after that, she sent me another logo.
No.
I was like, what are you doing? Oh, because the letters. I was like,
no.
First, do you know what my logo means? And I'm going with the love,
Yeah.
Like everything for me counts.
I know
about love,
I know
right?
what it means, but explain it. Yeah.
So, my logo. The name of Arepa is in cursive.
Yeah.
That reminds me of my grandma.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I never learned how to do cursive.
Yeah.
My grandma was incredible. And the A of the arepa, that was the A my grandma always used.
Okay.
For write down a lot of things.
Yeah, I love that.
So that is my grandma.
Yeah.
Okay? The mountain. She removed the mountain for all the logos she sent.
That's
Girl, do you know what is that? I'm from Caracas, El Ávila. That is El Ávila, the mountain in my city. So The logo show the people I am from Caracas.
Yeah.
So don't move it.
Yeah.
And the name bar, it's yellow, blue, and red. And she put the red before. It's like, do you know what those colors means? No, it's my flag, the flag of Venezuela. Why you're changing the colors?
Yeah.
So don't touch
Yeah.
my logo. No, because just I sit in the computer and I write down something. Everything has a meaning. Everything has a piece of love. So if you are not going to respect that, I'm so sorry, but you are not going to work for me.
Yeah.
That means my cooks, my front of the house,
Hell
or
yeah.
whoever. It's
That's-
love. And if you don't follow that, I'm sorry, but no. Because I think that is the most important thing you need to have in everywhere you work, in every place you go, and doesn't matter. That vibes, it's going to make you successful. So don't freaking touch my vibes or my logo or how the frick you want to call it. Like don't do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not what I want to represent.
Yeah.
You know? So now I'm not going to have a sign for my opening because she fucked it up.
Well, you'll have a sign eventually.
Yeah, I do. But that is what happened.
I'm glad that you told me that story because it's just so. It's just like so obvious of everything that we have tried to get away from. When you said in my cooks, in my servers, right? That's what we've fought that at every place that we've worked,
my
right?
God.
Like that.
Yes.
It's maybe not they're making the logo, but they're like, yeah, I just thought that I'd throw this in there, like, you know, just throw some cumin in there, like.
Or like you make all these French fries like with your hands and you cut it and you dry it and you do that. And then when you have done, the owner of the restaurant came with a box of French fries.
Yeah.
Frozen French fries. And you're like, what the fuck is that? Oh no, we're not going to use those fries anymore. We're just going to do this. I just made 7 cases. What are you doing? What is this? Use that. Less labor.
Oh, that hit deep. That hit
labor
deep.
is what. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Who I'm talking So that
Yeah, I
kind
know
of
what you're
things,
talking
you know. You put all these love in the French fries and they, no, throw that away. We're going to the frozen. You're like, holy fucking God.
But yeah, but that's and that's why, you know, I've been fairly vocal on not just Minnesota Well Done, but on my personal stuff, you know, like my social media and with my friends about your restaurant, because I think that is what you represent and other people just simply do not. Even places that make good food.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not going to say names because I'm not, especially if they make good food. It's like, you're making it in the pandemic, do your thing.
Yeah.
But they make good food, but like you can just, you feel it. You feel the lack of love. You feel the lack of love. You see the unhappiness in their crew, and it's just like it's not. It doesn't sing. The food doesn't sing. It might be good, right?
Yeah.
It might be good, and I might be able to, you know, like I don't know, impress a date or something. But like your food sang. It sings. I you know, I know it's abstract, but when you talk about balance. The balance in that food comes from those small acts of love that you do in every aspect of your restaurant.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so beautiful. And I'm just very thankful that somebody is doing it.
Yeah, and I really want to do it, and I'm going to be 100% honest. After my last job, I was really like, what I'm going to do, you know? I was really tired. I was sad. I was really depressed. I'm really far away from my family. My dog died. Yeah. I broke up with my ex-boyfriend. I mean, everything happened at the same time. I quit this job. I mean, and I was really like depressed. And I was exhausted. I think I slept like for 10 days straight. No straight, but you know, when you sleep, you just wake up, eat soup in a can, you know, take a shower and come back to bed. I was like that like for 10 days.
Yeah.
I was dead, man.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest reasons because I open this restaurant and I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. First, because was the only way to feel I'm close to my parents and I'm close to my country. My country is a country I was born in and I grew up in, but the country I love, unfortunately, doesn't exist anymore because all the stuff are happening in Venezuela. So I just trying to delete from my brain my last 4 years in Venezuela because were really, really painful. I have a lot of problem with the government and I was kidnapped. I mean, was a lot of pain for me. I lost everything over there and I came here with $300 in my pocket and 7 change of clothes. That's it. So for me to start over here was really hard. But you get at a point when you decide, I want to show the world Venezuela is not what they think it is just now.
Yeah.
Because before 15 years ago, if you ask if you know Venezuela, nobody knew where Venezuela was.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows because, oh, Maduro, oh, Chavez, because of the dictators and all the shitty things are happening there. I really want to show the world that is not Venezuela. Venezuela is something more. And that is the reason because this restaurant for me, I'm so passionate about what I can create with this because I really want to do a lot of things. Today I had the pleasure to meet what is his name, my lord? You know, the indigenous chef is working in the market. He created like a marketing lab. He is super famous. He has the sushi's name in his book. He's a non-profit company.
The Native American guy?
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're
So
talking
he's
about.
working on the market. He has a non-profit lab over there. And I had a really great conversation with him today. And he told me like, well, we don't do from scratch, the dough for your arepas. I was like, oh my Lord. You know, he just like took me like, I was like, why we don't do a lot of things?
Yeah.
So we were talking about maybe, and this is something I haven't planned, but I can work a lot with him to start to create Native American Venezuelan things in Minnesota. So that
Yes.
can be great.
Wow.
And that is something I
That's
know
fantastic.
nobody is doing. And I'm not doing it because, I'm going to be the first one. Well, I kind of. But that bring me again to what Venezuelan was before all this disaster and bring to the top again what Venezuelan means. Not just for me. For the people, it's just around the world, you know, missing family and missing our roots. Because our roots, unfortunately, are not there anymore. So I just need this for me and to, you know, share with the people is here. I think we needed it.
Well, everybody, Chef Christina.
Hi.
Arepabar. Thank you.
See you soon. Wednesday, we're open at 11 a.m. And we are going to be closed just Sundays and Mondays for now. But the rest, we're going to be there at the market from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesdays through Saturdays.
And you can get all the information off of Minnesota Well Done's page. I have reposted your information, and I will make sure to get all of your social media stuff and your websites and
Pick
and
up,
stuff in the show
delivery.
notes.
We have everything in the website. Follow Instagram and Facebook. Everything we're going to be posting there. And we'll pray, everybody, for a better 2021. And also to this incredible governor we have.
Oh, yeah.
To open something because we cannot keep doing this shit like this. So, thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
My old house are burning of my memory. My shovel writes a new song. I can almost hear them singing along as I keep digging away. Her love rubbed me Some of them were my friends. Some were more like enemies. Shouldn't matter now to them. Should shit don't mean much to me. Last night I took apart most everything in your garage and got myself some dollars and cents. Taken off to St. Paul, and I will surely spend it all on Hope Street, the last house on the block. My phone's ringing, but I muted. She probably wants to know what the hell I'm doing, but man, I don't really fucking know. Just sitting here high as hell with some nothing sickest man I think I have ever met. Some of them were my friends. Some were more like enemies. Shouldn't matter much to them. Sure shit's